What's good, YouTube? This is the only Big Green Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, back with another deck profile. And this deck profile is yet another chain burn deck profile. And I decided to go to my locals on Tuesday, and I was thinking about playing Grin Manju because I haven't played that in a while. But I decided to just play Chain Burn, even with the Chain Strike being put to 1, and I can strongly confirm that Chain Burn is better with Chain Strike at 1 than it was at 2, all because of Ring of Destruction. Chain Burn, for some reason, that chain strike to 1 just really flowed me up for opening plays and stuff with other cards. And I kind of like chain strike at 1 because I don't really have to rely on that card as much as I normally would. And I'll show you guys the new deck. Not a lot has changed from it. I mean, some of the sideboard has changed, but other than that, the only change in the main deck was just that one chain strike being put to 1, so I had to take out the second chain strike. And I did go undefeated with this. Round 1, I faced, I believe it was, Invoked Mech Knights, and that took me to Game 3. And if it wasn't for him paying half of his life for playing the Destrudo, trying to go, I think I said that name right, then I probably wouldn't have got that, so I thank him for that. But, of course, Chain Strike won me that game, so Konami putting Chain Strike to 1 really didn't change nothing for this deck. I'm still winning games as consistent with Chain Strike as 1 than I was at 2. It just, I don't see it as often. And Game 2, I was playing one of my buddies. He was playing DDDs, but he didn't really feel like playing up against this, even with DDDs. So, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I had a little choke up there. But he decided that he just wanted to play GOAT format, so I played him in GOAT, and then I won that. And then round 3, I faced Dinosaurs, 60-card Dinos, and I beat that in 2 games. But anyways, let's get right in the deck profile because this intro has took 2 minutes. First up for the monsters, you've got the one Lazion. He's just really good. He only got active like once. I only got to play this card in the tournament, and the Mechaba really hurt him, and that sucks because what's funny is the only time I got to play him was the only time I lost in the entire. I went 2-0 every round except round 1 up against Invoked. It went to Game 3, and I lost Game 1 because of Mechaba negating this. But he's still a really good card. I'm definitely gonna keep playing him in the deck. For the card Ds, you got that, because they're really good. I know a lot of you guys in the comments on my older chain burn videos are asking, like, card of demise and stuff like that. Like, some of you guys don't have enough money, or you want to play the deck, you just want it to be cheap. Run this instead of demise, because I don't want to spend $20 on a demise either. And I've played with demise. I've borrowed I've borrowed demises before to play at regionals, and I can assure you, playing card Ds, it's a good cheaper route than spending like $60 on a playset of demise when you can just spend like maybe $2 to $3 on a playset of card D, or in my case, I only run 2 card D. It's a whole lot cheaper, and it's just as good as if you was playing the demises, in my opinion. And then for the final monsters, the two Scarecrow and the 1 Battle Fader. I still have Scarecrow at 2, and I still have Battle Fader at 1, all because of Ceasefire being at 3. You can combo with Battle Fader and Ceasefire, but I'm not going to up Battle Fader again because they can Solemn Warning or Solemn Judgment or Solemn Strike the Battle Fader, where with Swift, it's a bit harder to do things like that. Battle Fader's easier to stop than what Swift is, so I'm still going to have this Swift at 2 and Battle Fader at 1. Next up, yep, 1 Chain Strike. It sucks because normally there would be 2 Chain Strikes, but I still play the Chain Strike. You still need it. It's at 1, and it's Konami putting Chain Strike as 1 has not hurt the deck at all. I still think it's better with 1 Chain Strike. But yeah, you still got to play it. It's really good. I won 2 games off of it. I won Game 2 and Game 3 of Round 1 off of Chain Strike. And then I won Game 1 of Round 3 off of Chain Strike. So I won 3 games in the tournament off of Chain Strike alone. So the card being put at 1 does not change the deck at all. I'm still winning games off of it. I run the one day apiece. I never got to resolve this once, but I'm still going to continue to play it because there's been games where my opponent has had board, and all I need is that one last burn card, and I just so top deck the burn card off of one day, and then I'll pass my turn, and when it becomes my next turn, I'll set that burn card and win. That's happened to me multiple of times. Just it didn't really happen this tournament. I saw it once in my hand, but I had game on board, so I didn't activate it. Next up, play 2 Pot of Desires. I'm still playing this at 2. I haven't upped it to 3. I actually resolved this twice yesterday and won, which is funny because normally if you resolve Pot of Desires twice and you don't get the burn, you just deck out. But for once, I didn't deck out from resolving Desires twice. But that's still not going to change the fact that I'm going to keep it at 3. I feel like it's just good at 2. All you need is 2. And then we play the 3 Pot of Duality. This card was really good in the tournament yesterday. I opened up with this card like almost 50% of my matches. I'm still playing this card at 3, and I believe you should be playing it at 3. If you're not playing it at 3, I don't know what you're doing. It's too good not to. And now on to the trap cards. The Triple Just Desserts. Really mean card. 500 damage for each monster your opponent controls. This can put out upwards to 2,000 to 3,000 damage. It is insane, especially now that links are running rampant. And we've all finally adjusted to links with almost a year of them being out. This card with links is just so busted how your opponent can go off, make a huge board, and you can just be like, Just Desserts, burn you for 3k. So it's real funny. And then the Triple Ceasefire. It's kind of like Just Desserts, but it only burns for effect monsters. So if I'm facing something like Blue Eyes or something like that, or a deck that relies on a lot of normal monsters, I'll normally side one of these out and put in like another Lazion from the sideboard or something like that. But it's still really good. This card right here is the MVP, other than Chain Strike yesterday. 3 Secret Blasts. Every time, it seemed like every time I activated this card, I was chaining because somebody twin twisted it. It's so funny how much this card got twin twisted in the tournament, or how much this card got popped in the tournament. It was just amazing because at one point I put up 2,800 damage with just the Secret Blast. And it's real funny because the people next to me were just straight up laughing whenever the guy popped it. And then it was that, because it's one of my friends and I was joking with him. I told him, how do you feel popping a card and taking 2,800 damage scrub? And just everybody started laughing because it's stupid how good this card can be at sometimes. But yeah, if I had to pick the best card from yesterday's tournament, it would be Secret Blast or Chain Strike. Next up, we got the 2 Secret Barrels. I didn't see this card that much yesterday in the tournament, surprisingly. Normally when I see this card, I win that game because I can put up so much damage. But it deals 200 damage for each card on the field and in your opponent's hand. So definitely a must play at 3. If you're not playing 3, just don't play Chain Burn. If you're not playing most of these at 3, if you don't own these at 3, just don't play the deck because they're too good not to have in the deck. And then next up, this is taking the space of the extra Chain Strike. I've got the extra Ring of Destruction. This card was really good too yesterday. At one point, I put up like, what was it? I think the 3,000 something damage from the Conductor yesterday. So this was really good. And then I think I put up like from the Mechaba play from the Invoked guy. I put up like the 2,500 damage. And it was really good yesterday. I got to resolve this card, I think, like 3 times. Once in the Dino matchup, and then twice in the Mechaba thing, the Invoked deck. So it's really good. And then next up, we've got the Battle Phase trap cards. The 3D Wall. I won a game off of this yesterday, so that was definitely really good. And then the 1 Magic Cylinder, never got to activate it. The only time I set it, it got popped, along with the Secret Blast. And then I actually didn't see this card at all in the tournament. But normally when I see this card, I normally win that game. But Blazing Mirror Force, it's virtually a Magic Cylinder, but it destroys all monsters in attack position. So, like, if you guys watch the old anime, when Yu-Gi-Oh! Mirror Forced, what was it, Weevil and stuff, and they would take the damage, which was funny. It's virtually Mirror Force from the anime. And then we've got the 3 Waboku, the 1 Threatening. The reason why I have Threatening at 1 and Waboku at 3 is because Threatening Waboku, you can activate in the battle phase, and it stops your monsters from being stored and stuff like that. But with the Threatening Roar, if you go in Threatening Roar, you can't combo Threatening Roar with things like D-Wall and Magic Cylinder, where you can with Waboku. When your opponent goes in to attack, you can throw up a D-Wall, and then what you can do is when they throw up an attack with another monster, you can throw that Waboku up. With Threatening Roar, you can't do that type of stuff. Threatening Roar, you just activate it and they can't attack. At least with Waboku, they can attack. And then on to the last cards, the 3 Reckless Greed and the 1 Balance of Judgment. Reckless Greed is just simple at this point. A lot of us, like new players and old players, should know what this card does. It's a real common card at this point in the game's history. And then Balance of Judgment, I don't think I got to resolve this card. Actually, I did get to resolve this card once. In Game 1, I drew 3 cards off of it. So it did okay. And now on to the side deck. We've got the 1 Cemetery Bomb for the little 60 card matchups and decks that like to fill their grave full. And then we've got the Curse of Darkness, which is no longer in the main deck. About a year ago, I was maining 2 of these in the main deck, and this time I've only got 1 in the sideboard. But this is just for your Pendulum players, and if you face something like Brandish, or in the TCG, it's called Sky Striker. And then I've got the 1 Lazion, and then I've decided to put these because one of the guys mentioned it in my comments on the older Chamber and deck profile where I won this mat, and he was mentioning like, hey, why no Lava Golem? And at the time, I just didn't really see a need for Lava Golem because they can just link it off. But after thinking about it, now that I've been facing more and more Pendulums, and I'm starting to realize if they make the Dory, whatever it's called, board, I just can't break that because Chainburn isn't going to run no Raw Spear mode. So I decided this would be my Raw Spear mode, and I'll just play 3 Lava Golems. But I might cut Lava Golem down to 2 and then put in another Lazion. So I might do that little deal. But right now I am playing the Lava Golem. The 1 extra Threatening Roar. And then I've got the extra Pot of Desires if my opponent's playing a lot of ashes and stuff like that. So that way if they ash it, I'll have a second one for next turn or something like that. And then just for if there's any FTKs running around, or if there's anything like my mirror match, or if I have to face the Trickstar matchup, the 2 Hainwadas, and then the 2 Rainbow Life. And then for people that side in Royal Decree, triple MST to play around that whenever we go into Game 3. But this is my Chainburn deck profile. And Chainburn's still going strong. I'm liking it. It's having, like, even the matchups that I shouldn't be winning, I'm winning with it, which is funny. But it's better than ever, I think, with the Chain Strike at 1. Oh, yeah, I forgot. The 1 extra deck card. You got to play the Destroyed Near Mint Giga Brilliant. Oops. But yeah, you got to play that in the extra deck because you know you're going to go into Giga Brilliant. Anyways, guys, this has been the Only Big Green Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Johnny. If you didn't like the video, or if you don't like Chainburn or Scumbag Yu-Gi-Oh! Players like me that play Chainburn, leave a dislike. And then, if you don't like Chainburn or Scumbag Chainburn players, unsubscribe from my channel if you're subscribed. And I'll see you guys later.